this over with.
Hi, welcome to CVG's review of Metal Gear Rising. I'm here with writer Matt Gilman. How you doing, Matt?
Not too bad, thanks, Tim.
Good. So, Matt, you've played the game, you completed it. Are you a big fan of Platinum games generally?
Yeah, and big fan of Metal Gear as well. So quite looking forward to this one for quite a while.
Yeah, so good combo. Okay, so talk to us a little bit about the game, about how it works. And
okay, so obviously, from the very beginning of the game, you know this isn't Metal Gear Solid. It's Metal Gear Rising. It's Raiden who's taking the centre stage this time round. No Snake to be seen anywhere. It's very much an action game. It's a slasher. You mash the pad a little bit. You pull off some amazing moves.
So talk to us a bit about the controls, because in the review you said that they're not that well explained. Would that be fair?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see on there you've got like a little combat manual which is on screen whilst you're playing, but some of the kind of fundamental kind of controls aren't really explained that well. Specifically, there's a dodge mechanic in there which ends up being quite important. Feasibly, you could play through the entire game and not even know it's there. But once you do know it's there, it adds an entire new dimension to the combat. So
okay, so And then in terms of the block button, because you also mentioned that in your review, or the lack of one rather.
Okay, so the parry system, it's hard to get to grips with, but the fact that it's hard doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
It is a fantastic system. You do get that sense of the flow of combat. I always think that. Do you remember like Ninja Gaiden 3? In the build up to Ninja Gaiden 3, there was always talk about the art of using the sword. And it never really fulfilled that promise. Whereas in Rising, it really does. You get that sense of not just slicing with the blade mode, the Zendatsu mode, like here, but also the act of blocking. It's a very active experience. You have to look at where attacks are coming from, tilt the stick towards them, and press the block button at the same time to pull off a parry. It's really hard to get the timing down, but once it clicks. It feels amazing, and it is really, really rewarding.
Okay, so here we're seeing the sort of arse end of a boss fight. In your review, you say that the bosses are the real highlight of Metal Gear Rising. Talk to us a little bit about them and why they're so good.
Definitely. I mean, the very first boss, LQ84I, is really an acid test. You get to that boss and you'll probably die about 20 times, and then we finally get the hang of it. And it's the same time each time you face off against one of these big bosses. You'll have to adapt the way you play. You'll have to watch how they fight, and you'll have to kind of work your way through each battle. Whereas the kind of mainstay combat of the rest of the game, you can get away with. Say running around in circles and not relying on the parry system so much, but every boss fight that you come up against really adds something to the whole experience.
Yeah, and so let's talk a little bit about perhaps stuff that doesn't work quite as well. I mean, you love the boss fights. You say the combat's got like, would it be fair to say it's got like hidden depths, or is it more just a case of kind of finding out what it does?
The keyword there, hidden. A lot of it is hidden. You could get away with playing through the whole game and mashing the pad. That's wrong. You shouldn't be playing it like that.
Yeah.
But you can get away with it, and that's a bit criminal, really. You should have to rely on your skills to be able to win, I guess.
So that's all. That's one thing. So to talk to us a little bit maybe about the things that don't work quite as well as they should.
Well, I mean, it's not a long game. I mean. The game clock, when I finished it was something like 4 hours 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously not including cutscenes and codec chatter and stuff like that, but still that's a very short game for 40 quid. I mean, there's a lot of incentive to return. There's the prospect of getting S ranks in all of the stages, things like that. But ultimately, you've got to decide whether or not you're willing to fork out 40 quid for about 4 to 5 hours worth of gameplay.
Yeah. So. Let's sort of sum things up then. I mean, people will look at your review, read the score, and it's a good score. It basically seems to sum up exactly how you feel about the game. But talk to people. I mean, should they go out and experience this? If they are platinum fanboys, I'm guessing they're going to be slightly disappointed by this, or will they not?
I think it really is up to the individual, and this is why I say at the conclusion of the review is that if this is going to be a very divisive game, I think you can tell looking at other scores as well. There are some low scores, there are some very high scores. It is a divisive game. I really recommend people at least try it, because it might be the best thing you've ever played. But the fact is that there will be too many people who don't break through the barriers that it puts up. To kind of fully appreciate it. So yeah, give it a try, but yeah, think about that 40 quid before you fork it out.
Хорошо, very good.